Paul Kraft is a very unique individual. I love the guy to death. You know, he's our past chair, and most chairs take off and retire from duties. You're kind of burnt out. Paul's about as involved a past chair as I have ever seen. His company, Wells Fargo, is the sponsor of this event. He's going to come up here and talk about just a little bit about Wells Fargo. He is head of our data committee, which he's going to make an announcement about a major change with our research. And he is today's referee between our two speakers. So I'm going to turn things over to Paul Kraft. Would you give him a warm welcome?
Thank you. First thing I wanted to do is talk about our sponsorship for the meeting with Wells Fargo. Got a couple slides here to show you. Wells Fargo has kind of an inventory bank of slides that we can use for presentations like this, and a couple points about this slide. The first point is, when I saw it, I said I got to show it because there should be a rule about how much information you can put on a PowerPoint slide. I think this broke the rule. But no, seriously, what the message here is that from a product set and what we do in the real estate world, we do just about everything. And so we're banking lots of different product types, lots of different types of companies, and that's kind of the message here, but it is a very busy slide. In terms of originations, this is from a national footprint. Wells Fargo originating loans, how it ranks, you can see that categorically in a number of the measures, according to the MBA Association, we are either number one or number two from a national perspective. This is outstanding. So this is what the deals are that Wells manages or that is on the Wells book, again, from a national perspective. You can see that from a big bank perspective, Wells dwarfs the industry. This is an interesting slide, and basically this says where Wells has real estate offices like the one that I'm a part of here in Tucson. And I like this slide because a lot of what happens in Wells is we have customers that will do things nationally or regionally. And so, for example, yesterday I had a call from our Atlanta office about a deal where someone in the Atlanta office is a customer of theirs, and they're looking to make about a $12 million purchase here in Tucson. And part of that underwriting is it has to kind of pass my test, and they look for my feedback. But the other beauty of it is that customer in Atlanta who may not have any market intel of Tucson gets the benefit of our kind of boots on the ground. The other one that I got a call yesterday, ironically, was out of our Detroit office, and they are looking to do a construction project of about $12 million in our region, and again, wanted my insights on what I thought rents were, et cetera, you know, location. And so I get on the line sometimes with these customers and I can kind of talk to them. And so what the beauty of that is for us here in Tucson is if you're doing something national or regional, I can do that for you. We have expertise, boots on the ground in other markets, and we can kind of give you a perspective of something if you're going into that market and basically you're trying to get your research put together. Wells can help. This is an interesting slide about kind of where the Wells Fargo balance sheet, how it stacks up. And I kind of like this to kind of see, you know, where the loans are. And, you know, office is the biggest holding in the Wells portfolio. And, you know, a lot of that has to do with, you know, when you're in a major market like New York or something, there's big numbers there. So that really bloats that number up. The second one, it's a little deceiving. It's not apartments. It's really retail. And you need to kind of combine the retail and the shopping center. And that's about $23 million or $23 billion. So just a kind of quick hit there. Back on this slide about number one, number two, et cetera, I kind of look at that and I kind of cringe about showing it because I don't think people should brag. But I think the message here is that it's not about the product set that makes somebody number one. You have to have the product set. You have to have that to just execute and be in the business. I think what makes us number one is the fact that people trust us. And so when you make decisions to bank with our group here in Tucson, I think that's a decision about trust. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate the ability to sponsor this today. Thanks. So, as was mentioned, I am chairing the Data Research Committee of the Research Council Board. And on your chairs, you'll find what is our quarterly snapshot. And this is, kind of hot off the press. We just finished this. And there's some interesting comments in here. Just real quickly on the industrial comment, one of our committee members had highlighted a transaction that had occurred, I guess, in the fourth quarter. There was a 100,000 square foot lease that ultimately in the first quarter defaulted. So it kind of made the numbers look a little funky when you look at our absorption rates. But it was basically a phony lease that came in and never really materialized in the first quarter when it was supposed to. So there's some interesting comments in here. And this is quite a bit of an effort. There's quite a bit of folks that go into our data committee and the research that we're doing. The other thing that we're doing is we've been talking about getting back to some sort of study. And you're probably saying, you sound like a broken record, Paul. You've been saying this for a couple of years. No, we're taking it seriously and we're putting our money into it. And so what we've done is, given the amount of time it takes in a volunteer board like we are, there's a lot of effort and it just can't quite get all the way there with volunteer effort. And we really needed, as a board, to decide that we need to take it to the next level, and we needed to hire someone to help us consult. And we have done that. And we have hired Lucinda Smedley with the Trend Report to consult us to conduct an annual study. Now, Lucinda comes to us, and we had looked at various vendors to do this, but Lucinda comes to us with some unique skill sets. First of all, she's been in the community, and she's been in real estate development and data research for a number of years. And the other important ingredient in that decision is that she's been involved heavily and put timeless hours into the board. She's also very involved in this organization. So she knows our mission statement, she understands it, and you marry that with her skill set, it was a really good decision. And be looking for an email to get pushed out to you about ideas on research. We're going to need your ideas to help us with that effort.